Welcome back to the channel. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about Pulsex price when it launches, how high it can climb. There's been some outlandish claims. There's been people undervaluing the project, etc. But I'm here to speak to you guys from the horse's mouth. I'm going to lay out the information for you. You can do with that information what you want. And I'll also give my own opinions as well. So number one, Pulsex is designed to increase in value. Now, this is according to the Pulsex.com website. And remember, guys, for those of you that are completely new and maybe haven't watched my previous videos, Pulsex is a Richard Hart project, right? He created Hex, which is this project here, and we'll touch on that. He also created Pulse Chain, right? So this isn't just a standalone project. We know who's behind the project, etc. And that's going to help us making a more informed decision and allow us to do more in-depth research as well, right? So do keep that in mind. Now, this is according to the website. This is not my opinion. I'm literally going over it for you guys now. So the best asset class in history. Cryptocurrencies have outperformed every other asset class over the last 10 years. Fact. There's a reason for that. They remove counterparty risk and middlemen, allow for privacy, have better uptime than your bank and credit card network. Cryptocurrencies allow for a better way to log in to things. They can work as a cryptographic username and password pairs, independent of platforms, right? So at this point, he's just talking about cryptocurrencies as a whole, and he's talking about the potential of the overall space. Now, what can we gather from that information right away? Well, number one, what that's showing us is that there's a massive opportunity in the cryptocurrency space, and I believe that as well. Bitcoin is, this is fact, the highest performing asset class in human history, right? And it did this within the space of 10 years. It's achieved over 1,000,000%, guys. So I just want to put that into perspective. For those of you that may be in your 20s, your 30s, 40s, 50s, it doesn't matter. Imagine if you can get into a project and it can perform over 1,000,000% within the space of 5 to 10 years. That's the potential here in the cryptocurrency space. Now, whether this applies to Pulsex or not is a complete different story, right? So do not look at this information and immediately say, okay, that means Pulsex will achieve that percentage gain. It does not mean that, right? So do keep that in mind. Let's move on. So high yields, you can provide the PLS or PRC20s. So PLS is the Pulse Chain native currency, which I was telling you guys about before. So you can provide the PLS or PRC20s that you hold as liquidity to Pulsex and earn yield on them. This is less risky than trading and allows you to earn predictable income on your crypto. Cryptocurrencies have the highest yields in the world for exceeding those of other asset classes. Now, this is a fact. I've got coins that are basically producing for me incredible returns at the moment, and this is from a yield farming, this is staking, etc. I mean, this quite literally is one of the greatest opportunities ever, right? And more importantly, this yield will continue whether the market is up and whether the market is down. And typically when the market is down, the yields increase, and this is obvious why, because obviously people are pulling their coins off the market, selling, etc. Therefore, obviously yields go up. The more people that are staking, the more percentage yields go down, etc., etc. Now, again, this is a fact. Now, what is the benefits of this? This essentially means this incentivizes users to lock up their crypto and keep it staking, yield farming, etc., which therefore typically increases the overall coin in value because it pulls money out of circulation. And an example of that would be on Hex. And that's why I say it's very important to look at both projects, right? Because it will tell you how effective the Richard Hart strategy is and how he's implementing a strategy that worked for Hex now onto PLS. And obviously I'm sure he's learned from his journey with Hex, so he's likely to improve on what he already has. Now this coin has over $500 million coin supply, and the price is 22 cents, which is crazy, right? The market cap's over 39 billion. And also, guys, one thing to note, this coin went as high as 50 cents as well. So that leads on to my next point. When eventually we get information on how many coins there will be in circulation, etc., I'll keep you guys up to date with all of that information. I wouldn't focus on the coin supply or anything like that. I would focus on the percentage gains. I would focus on the amount of people that are staking. I would focus on this opportunity here, right? Because essentially all that matters is the percentage gains, whether there's a $1 trillion coin supply, whether there's a $1 billion coin supply, etc. It's irrelevant, and I'm pretty sure the amount of coins sacrificed will be dependent on those factors, right? So let's continue, right? So again, another key point. One thing I would say that they're doing quite smart here is they're relating facts, so undisputed facts, but they're also implementing that on the website in confluence with the PLS and PLX tokens. Now, as a researcher, someone that's digging deep, you should never conflate the two. Just because, yes, the cryptocurrency market is the best performing asset class in human history, just because, yes, the cryptocurrency market have the highest yields in the world, does not mean that this project will be, number one, perform, number two, produce the high yields, etc., that you want or desire. So please do keep that in mind. It's very important that you understand that. Now, will this likely have high yields? Potentially. I mean, they've already proven that they can maintain a 40%, around 40% APY on Hex. So again, they've proven that they can do this. But remember, guys, never conflate facts with the actual project itself, right? And this just goes for other projects that you may be looking into as well. So the most transparent trading in the world. Not only can you see on chain what addresses trade which asset, you can also see transparently which addresses sold, bought, and how much money it has left to buy more. Okay, efficiency. With Bitcoin, you need from minutes to hours until transaction confirms, and transacting cost, you multiply USD in fees. Transaction on the Pulse chain costs less than 0.01 cent, 1 cent, less than 1 cent, and confirmations happen in about 3 seconds. Pulsex utilizes this network to allow for fast and cheap swaps between PLS and PRC20. PLSX only becomes more rare. So this is where things get interesting. I think this is what we want to pay attention to. And for those of you that made it this far in the video, before I continue, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, click the bell notification icon so you can stay up to date with all my recent videos. Remember, guys, nothing that you see in this video is financially advised, so always make sure to do your own independent research. Remember to pause the video, click the link in my description, and join the Telegram group if you want to stay a part of the conversation, stay up to date with all our recent updates, news updates, technical updates, and much more. So pause the video, do that now, and then I'm going to get on to the last point, and probably one of the most important points as it relates to price. So the website claims that PLSX only becomes more rare. Pulsex has lower fees than most competing exchanges. Tick, the fee to users is lower than on most competing exchanges. Most tokens inflate at high rates, while PLSX never inflates. The supply only becomes more rare as 21% of all fees could be used to buy up the price and burn the freshly bought PLSX. Very, very, very interesting. And as this relates to price, I know many of you, well, not many of you, sorry, a few people said in the comment section, this project will not work, this project will dump, this project will do A, B, and C. However, Richard Hart, which is again the founder of this project, already proved, that the pump and dump situation is yet to happen on this project. Even with a price dip, price bounce all the way back up and is ranging, is stabilizing. Based on what we've read so far, especially the last point, this coin is almost designed to, I don't want to say act as a stable sort of coin, etc., but it's done in a way that is similar to Hex to ensure that essentially, no matter what happens, price continues to go up in value based on, number one, this what we just read here, and number two, people locking up their tokens and basically staking their tokens to collect that high yield, right? So, and I'm just going to read this again because Pulsex has lower fees than most competing exchanges, thus should bring in a lot more users, etc. to use this. The fee to users is lower than on most competing exchanges. Most tokens inflate at high rates, while PLX never inflates, right? So they claim here that PLS will never inflate. The supply only becomes more rare as 21% of all fees could be used to buy up the price and burn the freshly bought PLSX. So the way the mechanism works is essentially they will ensure that they buy up, all fees will be used to buy up the price. So essentially the way they've designed it is so that basically price will be bought up, which will therefore inflate the price to keep the price stable, to keep the price up. Now, this is a big claim here. And if this was any other project, one could be very skeptical about this claim. But based on the performance of Hex and based on what they've managed to achieve using similar strategies, etc., especially with their lockup that they have with Hex, this makes this a lot more believable and something that can be achieved, which is why a lot of the comments that people are making, like this is going to pump and dump, etc., they've designed it in a way to kind of combat that. Now, of course, pump and dumps can still happen, rug pulls can still happen, but based on the research so far, this does look like a project that quite literally is designed to increase in value as proven by the last point. But let's stick around. We're still going to dig deep. We're still going to do our research. We're still going to act as investigators. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're subbed. And as I said to you guys before, prove to everybody why this is one of the greatest communities. I want you to do that by voting, by liking in the commenting in the comment section, joining the Telegram, and doing everything possible to get the word out there. But let's see, we're still going to dig deep, so stay tuned for the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But I'll see you guys soon. With that being said, seize the day.